welcome back to the Journey to the FarLands. Alright, let's see. Have I got everything together here? Yeah, it kind of looks like it. So let's dig out of here. This kind of an open door hidey hole. Alright, I don't see much anything going on here, so let's go ahead and cover up the hidey hole. West is that away, so let's get moving. Alright. Well, we proceed onward, heading to the FarLands. And once again, taking a shot at this 3 Minecraft days per episode format. And trying to make up for some progress. To make up for some progress that I should have made a long time ago. Anyway, we're going to get there. Also working on trying to raise funds for some worthy causes. The Child's Play charity cause, which is they provide books and toys and games to kids stuck in hospitals, especially for long hospital stays, because that takes some of the pain and OMG out of it, some of the massive boredom, and maybe even alleviates some of the, oh, I'm scared, I'm in a hospital, it's a big scary place and there's a whole lot of big and small scary people in here doing scary things and so on, out of the picture a little bit, and makes the whole experience something that is maybe a little less than horrifying, because long hospital stays can be that way for kids. I know I was in the hospital as a kid a time or two myself, not for long stays or anything, but I still found the experience to be less than pleasant and a little scary at times, because you're in this thing and you hear what people tell you is going on, but they don't tell you a whole lot because you're a kid and you don't really have a full understanding of what's going on. It's just, I'm in this place and the doctor's going to do something to me. I'm going to go to sleep and I'm going to wake up missing a tonsil or an appendix or whatever that is that has to be taken out or worked on or whatever. And it's a scary thing from a kid's point of view. And so they do some pretty good work in trying to take some of the scary out of it by taking your mind off of the scary with things like toys and books and games and so on. So that's a really worthy cause. Another cause, of course, is a family in need that has been in a very desperate situation for quite some long time now, and there is as yet no real end in sight. And I've kind of, because the family in question happens to be my brother's family, and the reason they're in desperate situation is because he died, and there is no household income to replace his. And for people who would simply look at that situation and say, well, get a job, I'm sorry, it doesn't work that way. There are no jobs in this extremely rural, out in the backwoods of Arkansas kind of area. Well, let's put it this way, there are some. Yes, there are always some. But those jobs almost inevitably go to younger, healthy people. And so on. I know I found that to be true in my case. I spent a lot of time trying to come up with some kind of a job, and Employers typically wouldn't even bother to call me back. And the one or two who did at least have the courtesy to say, I'm sorry, I can't use you, were at least decent enough to inform me that the reason they couldn't use me is because, well, my age and health issues made it much more sensible in their eyes to hire somebody who was younger and healthier. And that it was not anything against me personally, it was simply because they felt that whether it was true or not, they felt that my age and health and whatnot were such that I would eventually at some point have sufficient issues that would prevent me from doing the job, showing up at work on time and regularly and so on, and that it would eventually be a bunch of problems that employers just plain don't want to deal with, to be honest. Let's see, I gotta grab a whole little bit of wool here. My stock is kind of low, but this is why folks in this family who need are not employed. They are not exactly employable. My brother's wife is blind and has other medical issues of her own that just simply preclude going out and nailing down some kind of a 9-to-5 or whatever and getting some money coming in that way, because I know very much that she'd be more than happy to do so if she were employable. She doesn't like being, well, nobody likes. Actually, no, I take that back. There are people that like very much being in a situation where getting a job is impossible, and that it puts them in a situation of depending on the goodwill of others to get by. There are people that dearly love that. But she'd never been one of them. She's never been one to like to depend on the goodwill of others. She'd rather get by on her own initiative and so on. You know, pay her own way, all that good stuff. I've always been kind of that way myself. I don't like being in a situation where I have to depend on the goodwill of others, because there are entirely too many people in this world that, to be blunt, have no goodwill. You know, I mean, it's an ugly thought, I realize. It's not a very nice thing to say, but let's face it, there are a lot of not very nice people in the world. And so on. But anyway, I think I'm beginning to drift and digress here. The point is that when he died, since I personally am not able to help that family, since I'm not personally financially capable of helping them, I decided that I was going to try to raise money for them to help them get by, because it was only the right thing to do. I mean, I help out to what degree I can, which basically amounts to a sort of taxi service to see to it that they can get to the store and other places that they need to get to occasionally. Ah, sunset is upon us. And so on. I do that as much as I possibly can because it's the right thing to do, and because, to my chagrin and amazement, almost nobody else will. Really. You can only sleep at night. I'm sorry. When I see that phrase, that's the tone of voice I hear it in. Oh, you know, one of these days I'm actually going to have to eat one of those bowls of mushroom stew. What do you think? How long is it going to be before I have to break down and use one of those bowls of mushroom stew? So, that's what I'm up to. That's why I am copying a very good idea and walking to the FarLands in Minecraft Beta 1.7.3. Because, yeah, it's a cool thing to do. It's a fun thing to do. I like walking through Minecraft beta terrain and looking at this beta terrain generation and walking in a world where there was no hunger bar, and so I can walk and run and jump as much as I want, and I don't have to worry about have I got enough food to restore my hunger so that I don't actually starve to death in Minecraft. Because if you were to try something like this, or, well, basically, an extended long walk in Minecraft, whether you were going to the FarLands or not, then you would find that even if you didn't do anything, if all you were doing was walking in one direction for a long period of time, you would find that this hunger bar that they put on the right side where the armor is now in this version, that hunger bar would fade, and you would eventually, if you let it go long enough to the point where it faded completely, you would find yourself taking damage and losing health points, and eventually you would end up dying because you had not eaten. There are times when I really enjoy the fact that I get to walk around in this beta 1.7.3 world where the only time I ever really need to eat is when I feel a need to restore my health to 10 hearts. And you can call that cheaty if you want, but oh well. That's the way it used to be in Minecraft, and everybody didn't have a problem. People didn't have a problem with it because that's the way it was. I know there was a lot of people even back then that thought hunger needed to be an issue, and that's probably a big part of why it has become an issue. But, you know, not really all that super thrilled with it. Oh, don't get me wrong, it's not going to put me off Minecraft. It never put me off Minecraft. I've adapted, and I go on and do things in current versions and so on, where all that is a thing. But once in a while, I like stepping back into this old world, this old version where that sort of thing was not a thing. It wasn't an issue. Oh, excuse me, emergency mute. All right, I'm back. suddenly had a irrepressible need to cough, and I really don't like doing that in actual recording. So I paused, cut the microphone off, and then went ahead and took care of that, and then I'm back. All right. Anyway, you know, all this talk about this old Minecraft stuff. There is something, not too long ago, I was looking for something, and I ran across some very old backups that I had made of Minecraft way back when. Mostly backups of world saves. And I ran across one particular old world save. It's one that I never played this one on camera. I think at one point I did make one little bit of video of something in that world on camera, but the world itself was, well, mostly it was a test world. That's what I named it in the Minecraft launcher thing. You know, when I created the world, I named it Test World. And there was a lot of non-test things that I went on with in that world. I spent a lot of time playing it, and honestly, back in those days, if I wasn't playing the main world that I was recording in, then I was playing in this test world, and so on. So finding that old save was kind of really cool. You know, I'm sure that you've all occasionally run into an old game save of some kind or another, be it Minecraft or whatever, that you remember having a lot of fun in. You spent hours with it, you had a lot of fun playing in it, and you look at that and you think, man, wouldn't it be nice to load that save up again and walk around in that ancient world of that old game or whatever it was, and just kind of have a little bit of a nostalgia trip. Well, I got to thinking that way about this world. But while I found the world, I didn't find the exact Minecraft install that went with it. Because this particular old world, it was in Minecraft Beta 1.7.2, which was one version before this one. And while I do have a copy of Minecraft Beta 1.7.2, like I have a copy of every version of Minecraft I have ever played since Beta 1.3_01, the one thing I don't have is the customized version of that mod pack, or at least I have not found it yet. Because that version of Minecraft was perhaps the first version of modded Minecraft that I ever played. The first time I ever applied any mods to Minecraft was back then. And how's this for a bit of nostalgia for those of you that have been around Minecraft a while? This was the portal gun mod. The original old portal gun mod. That the way you installed this mod, you didn't download it from an FTP pack because there was no such thing. You didn't go out and get some mod pack and put in because there were almost no mod packs. If you modded Minecraft, what you did was you made a copy of your Minecraft jar, and then you opened up Minecraft jar in 7-zip or some other archiver, and you dragged the mod folders into the Minecraft jar, and you would then delete the meta-inf file from the jar and close it all up. And if you did everything right and installed every component in the correct order, then your modded Minecraft would work. And all of a sudden you would be able to construct the portal gun, the portal spawners, and the weighted cubes, the companion cube, the weighted companion cube, and some, there was a couple or three other things and whatnot. You would be able to construct all that, and you'd be able to use it. And I found that when I was using it there in a project to test something I wanted to try out in the regular Minecraft series, that I found it very, very handy to have a portal gun for getting around quickly and easily. And so I used it for that. Now, obviously, I didn't do that for the actual LP I was recording at the time, because back in those days, modding wasn't nearly as popular as it is now. As a matter of fact, I knew of a lot of people that had an extremely negative view of modding and considered it to be pretty much cheating. And installing a mod was the same thing as just giving yourself an easy button and cheating, and that there was no good excuse to install a mod. So obviously that attitude has not prevailed, but I remember when it was common. And in terms of actual time, it really wasn't all that super long ago. Although I'm sure that most people will insist they don't remember such a thing, because, well, let's face it, they were probably one of those people that had that anti-mod attitude. Alright, let's get a couple of more boats. So, the long and the short of all of this is that I have spent the last couple of days looking around, trying to find the install files for the version of Portal Gun that worked with Minecraft Beta 1.7.2, and also for the version of Forge mod loader that was new. Excuse me, no, it wasn't Forge, it was mod loader. Rugasami's mod loader. And there was another one called Audio Mod that was also necessary. I've been looking around trying to find that. And because the distribution for these things was on the Minecraft forum, you know, somebody made a mod, they would make a thread on the Minecraft forum, and that's the main way that other people found out about the mod, or any mod. And distribution was usually by way of media flyer links and things like that, or other download sites where you could upload something and then people could go there and download it. And the way those sites work is they have a little bit of built-in housekeeping procedures, that if something doesn't get downloaded more than X times in a given period of time, you know, if it doesn't get downloaded very often, or it goes long enough without being downloaded, then the file will be deleted from the download site. And so on. I have seen, in case anybody wants to point me to it, I have seen the current forum thread for Portal Gun earlier today, as a matter of fact. And I have seen that it now directs you to iTunes blog for information and downloads for Portal Gun. And yes, that site does even include some older versions of Portal Gun, but they only go back to the versions for, let's see, the earliest version I saw on there was for Minecraft 1.0.1 or something like that. That was the earliest Portal Gun version I could find on there. Yeah, who knows, maybe I'm blind, but that was the earliest thing I could find. I couldn't find anything, any version of Portal Gun that would work in Minecraft Beta 1.7.2, and I know I had it installed back then. Why it wasn't in the old backups, all I can say is that the main versions that I backed up would be the original download. You know, I download Minecraft, well, I download the update, and I'd make a fresh backup of that, of a clean update, and I would make a full backup of the active install that I was using for my LP world, my so-called main world, and so on. I made full backups of that, everything that had to do with that, everything that I was using in it. But apparently I did not make the full backup of that old Beta 1.7.2 version with Portal Gun in it. Pretty sure that did exist, because I remember using that thing. I was building this thing, and that's all I'm going to call it, is it was this big structure I was building. It was involved, there was a bunch of redstone involved, and there was a bunch of minecarts involved. It was some of my very early experimentation with minecarts, and to call it a station would be entirely too overly, excessively generous, so it's just a big, ugly thing. Built entirely of cobblestone. No, not entirely of cobblestone. I ran short of cobblestone at one point, and part of this structure was built of netherrack. Yeah. See, it may have been a test world, but I didn't just spawn in stuff that I needed. I actually played it legit. Even though being a test world, I would have been perfectly justified in using inventory editors to spawn in stuff I needed, whatever. I didn't do it that way. Part of it was I figured, well, I'm going to be doing this in a legit world. I need to do it in a legit world this way. It's just that with this, I can take my time and try this and that, and try the other, and work things out until it finally works good, and then go on from there. The one exception I gave myself was because Portal Gun was just so much fun that that particular instance of Minecraft, it was a separately installed instance. I used some creative renaming of the .minecraft folder to keep it separate. And I kept that separate, and I did my testing, and I played around with the minecarts and the redstone, and I spent weeks messing around with that before I thought to do anything even like it in the single-player world that I was recording at the time. And I had a lot of fun with it. I mean, who with the Portal Gun has not at least once built a structure, well, kind of like this, and put a portal down here, and put a portal up here, and then drive a cow or a sheep or a chicken or something into down there, and watch it go in there and come out here, and go in there and come out here, and it's just doing that faster and faster and faster and faster. Who hasn't done that with portals? That's just so cool. That was so fun. It was just so funny to watch the cow go falling out of the top portal and into the bottom portal, and the cycle just kept going, and it got faster and faster and faster, and all of a sudden the cow wasn't there because somehow it managed to be taking damage a little bit every time through the cycle. That was fun. That was just totally fun. And I can envision building. I actually kind of have a halfway idea for a mob trap. Some kind of an arrangement with a mob trap. Perhaps some kind of piston retractable floor sections or something like that that would open up part of the floor that concealed access to one of the portals, painted on the floor, and painted on the ceiling directly above it would be the other portal. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that would be kind of cool. You get a whole bunch of skeletons and zombies and creepers. Well, nuts. Okay. Oh, doggone it. I'm out of beds. That means it's time to find the hidey hole for the end of the episode. It's the end of the episode already? Wow. It feels like I just started. Alright. I am going to dig in right here. Well, the long and the short of that whole long-winded thing about the portal gun was that I was just wondering if anybody can point me in the direction of a legitimate, righteous copy of that old version of portal gun. The kind where you didn't need nether stars and so on to make the key ingredient for the portal. The portal gun, you didn't have to have wild and crazy things like that. And nobody was trying to make it balanced or anything like that. It was just simply fun. If you have any idea where I might find something like that, I would appreciate it. Okay, that is this. In the meanwhile, I appreciate your continued support and watching, and continued support of this family in need, Child's Play charity, and you can get more information and donate at the what I call official Journey to the FarLands website, which is actually just a page on my blog. But anyway, thanks for watching. Take it easy. I'm out of here. I hit the wrong button, doggone it. Well, rather I hit that one than F3, which is right next to it. Thanks for watching. I'm out of here.